The house sits in eerie silence. The gates are locked, and that $14.65 million Montecito mansion, once Harry and Meghan's dream refuge, is being quietly cleared out. What was meant to be their forever home, their escape, their statement to the world, is no longer theirs. Insiders close to the couple finally confirm what's been whispered for months. It's all over. Not just the royal comeback, but the marriage, the Netflix and Spotify deals, and even the donor base for the Archewell Foundation. Everything's crumbling.
That I managed to persuade her to come and join me in Botswana, and we camped out with each other under the stars, and she came and joined me for 5 days out there, which was absolutely fantastic. So then we were really by ourselves.
And now everyone's asking the same question. Where do Harry and Meghan go from here? Montecito wasn't just an address, it was their brand. Every polished photo, every emotional interview, every "we made it" moment came from that backdrop. Without it, their image collapses. And what's unfolding isn't tabloid drama. It's a financial, legal, and personal meltdown that's been brewing since early 2026. And it's spiraling fast. The money, or the shocking lack of it, is what's driving this entire downfall, according to leaked documents from the Daily Ledger. The Montecito mansion's 2026 property taxes are past due. We're talking over $134,000 in unpaid taxes on a home meant to prove Harry and Meghan's financial freedom from the crown. Imagine that. The couple who told the world they'd carve their own path and fund their own future can't keep up with their own tax bill. And that's just the start. Their massive $100 million Netflix deal, once hyped as their ticket to global influence, is now hanging by a thread.
It happened a few weeks ago, earlier this month, here at our cottage. Just a standard, typical night for us.
It's a cozy night. It was.
Insiders say Netflix is looking to trigger an early exit clause, one that could slam the couple with $124 million in penalties. Yes, you read that right. $124 million in potential losses for a partnership that never lived up to the hype. Now picture this. The taxes are overdue, the deals are collapsing, and the mansion costs a fortune just to keep running. What do? You sell it, right? But it's not that simple. Sources close to Harry say he's quietly reached out to Hollywood heavyweight Tyler Perry, the same Tyler Perry who gave them his Beverly Hills home when they first fled the UK, asking for emergency bridge financing. Emergency bridge financing. That's not the language of success, that's the sound of desperation. And when Harry went to Tyler Perry for help, Perry flat out said no. Sources say it wasn't personal. It was about reputation. Nobody wants to bankroll a man cut off by his royal family, stripped of security, and sinking fast in public opinion both in Britain and the US. And here's a major twist. Meghan's personal trust fund was quietly restructured last year, locking Harry out completely. The palace lifeline? Gone. The American corporate backing? Gone. Even the private friendships that once offered rescue? Denied. A former Sussex business consultant summed it up in one chilling phrase: there is no plan B.
I don't think that I would call it a whirlwind in terms of our relationship. Obviously, there have been layers attached to how public it has become after we had a good 5-6 months almost with just privacy, which was amazing. But no, I think we were able to really have so much time just to connect.
So what happens when your mansion becomes a financial trap, the money stops flowing, and the legal pressure builds from both sides of the Atlantic? You start packing, because that's exactly what's happening. And it all ties back to one pivotal moment, February 17th, 2026. That day rewrote royal history. Inside St. George's Hall at Windsor Castle, Prince William, acting as sovereign while King Charles battled health issues, delivered Royal Order No. 17. Historians are already calling it the most powerful act of royal authority since Queen Elizabeth II's Jubilee Address. This wasn't just ceremony, it was a legal hammer. The order, shaped by Princess Anne, Lord Alastair Pembroke, and Duchess Sophie, permanently stripped Prince Harry of any chance to return to official royal duties. Every title, every privilege, every right tied to the crown, gone for good. The order didn't just strip titles, it froze every asset or inheritance tied to the Sussex branch within the crown estate. William's words that day were sharp, deliberate, and left no room for doubt. He referenced King Charles's own precedent, the one set when Charles removed Prince Andrew's royal titles back in October 2025. Andrew, the late Queen's own son, had been forced out of the Royal Lodge, a property he'd held under a 75-year lease since 2003, and sent to Marsh Farm, a rundown cottage on the edge of Sandringham. The place sits on a floodplain. No staff quarters, no private chapel, no royal security, nothing. William made it clear, if the monarchy had the strength to cut off Andrew for the sake of the crown, then it had to do the same again, even if that meant drawing bloodlines in the sand. Think about that. A prince telling his own brother that royal blood no longer grants protection. Not in this monarchy, not while he's in charge. Then came the real bombshell, a classified memorandum sent straight to the Ministry of Justice. It invoked Royal Separation Protocol 14-7, a rarely used measure from the abdication crisis of King Edward VIII. The public only learned about it when the Royal Gazette dropped one chilling sentence. The Duke of Sussex will no longer be accorded sovereign privileges, travel protections, or institutional representation within the United Kingdom, effective immediately. The next morning, polls showed 68% of Britons approved of the move. William's approval as future king skyrocketed to 84% overnight. The Morning Times summed it up in just 4 chilling words. He chose the crown. Now picture this, Harry and Montecito, reading the decree off his iPad. The kids are asleep. Meghan's in another room on a video call with her legal team. The last line of the letter stings like a final blow. No return shall be contemplated until the children's full legal identities are submitted, verified, and recognized by the Crown. This wasn't just rejection, it was a royal challenge, and Harry had no way to respond. The divorce, the dossier, and the children, it all collided in ways that seemed too wild to be real. But every piece of it is true, and it's brutal. Back in January 2026, Harry quietly finalized a confidential divorce from Meghan Markle. The split, sealed tight by the courts, cracked open a storm of custody battles, image rights fights, and messy leaks that blindsided both the palace and Hollywood. Even the best PR teams couldn't contain the fallout. And here's the question everyone's been asking. Did anyone truly see this coming? When they stepped back in 2020, when they poured their hearts out to Oprah in 2021, when they cashed in on Netflix, podcasts, and memoir deals? Who could have imagined it all would end here? Divorce, tribunal hearings, and financial ruin unfolding at once. Now, let's talk about the dossier. On February 10th, 2026, Lady Louise Windsor, just 22 and working with senior royal legal officers, submitted a confidential 117-page report to the Royal Family Tribunal. What was inside was so explosive that Lord Pembroke later said that single document changed everything. The Crown couldn't dismiss it as just family drama anymore. This was now about succession, legitimacy, and royal ethics. The dossier's contents were shocking. It exposed irregularities in Archie and Lilibet's birth records across several countries, outlined commercial deals profiting from the kids' names and images, and cited breaches of international child protection laws. But the most explosive revelation? Meghan had allegedly approved a media deal for a children's series called Sussex Kitchen, where Archie and Lilibet would appear as recurring characters. Let that sink in. Not a documentary, not a memoir, but an entertainment show turning their children into fictionalized figures for profit. When that reached the Privy Council and royal legal teams, alarms went off instantly. This was no longer private business. It was institutional. The Royal Family Tribunal, described by Lord Pembroke as the first sovereign family court since the fall of the Plantagenet line, made its most sweeping judgment yet. Princess Catherine and Duchess Sophie were officially named royal matrons, legal guardians and custodians of Archie and Lilibet in any case of parental incapacity or loss of custody. William even addressed the nation himself, saying, "These are still children of Windsor. Their future will not be bartered in the court of public opinion nor auctioned through entertainment platforms." And then came the coldest move of all, the Lineage Safeguard Clause. A rarely invoked royal statute from the early 1900s. Quietly revised after the Duke of Windsor's 1936 abdication scandal, and again after Lord Mountbatten's assassination, it redefined how the monarchy protects its bloodline. And this time, it was being enforced. The Lineage Safeguard Clause changed everything. It gives the reigning monarch, or acting sovereign, the authority to deny royal recognition to descendants who carry the name, but not the loyalty of the crown. Invoked by William and ratified by King Charles himself, it stripped Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor and Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor of their royal trust entitlements, property rights, and ceremonial privileges. They're barred from any royal benefits until they turn 21, and even then, only if they pass a full ethics and identity audit before the Crown Court. Their royal status frozen indefinitely. Then came Meghan's reaction, and 5 words that broke the internet. Leaked footage showed her pacing the veranda of the Montecito mansion, phone in hand, wearing athletic gear, her voice shaking with fury. The line she allegedly screamed, "They can't freeze my children out. I built their global identity. I gave them the brand." 5 words that set the world on fire. I gave them the brand. In that moment, it didn't matter what the tribunal ruled or what law was cited. Those words told everyone exactly how Meghan saw her children. Not as heirs, but as extensions of a global brand. The backlash was instant. Hashtags like hashtag protect the line, hashtag no more royal leaks, and hashtag custody not currency exploded worldwide within hours. The Spectator published a brutal headline: "The Grandmother Brand, Meghan's monetization of royal bloodline collapses in real time." And as outrage spread, Meghan's legal team went into overdrive, preparing for a fight that could redefine not just her image, but the entire future of the Sussex name. Meghan's legal team hit back hard. They filed formal objections claiming the tribunal had no authority over minors living in California. They accused the Crown of historical overreach and even emotional coercion. Behind the scenes, her lawyers reportedly began exploring a daring move, seeking international jurisdiction through The Hague to sidestep UK rulings altogether. But Lord Pembroke's response? Calm, cutting, and impossible to argue with. He stated that while Archie and Lilibet live in the US, their titles, privileges, and public treatment are undeniably tied to the Crown, and that connection grants the tribunal legal standing. His final line said it all. Legal standing was granted through that connection. Legal review can withdraw it. In plain terms, you can't have it both ways. You can't claim royal privilege when it's convenient and American rights when it's not. Meanwhile, Harry was spiraling. Sources described him as withdrawn, barely eating, often choosing to sleep in his car rather than inside the Montecito home. One insider called it the end of a hallucination. The illusion of independence had shattered. Then came the final, heartbreaking exchange between the brothers. Just before the ruling went public, Harry made one last call to William. According to William's senior aide, the conversation was short and cold. Harry asked, "So that's it? You're just cutting me off forever?" William's reply hit like a blade. "No, I'm letting you go, because you refused to let go of what broke us." The call ended in heavy silence, and then Harry did the unthinkable. He reportedly signed a non-objection agreement, but only on one heartbreaking condition: that Archie and Lilibet not be sent to palace grounds, but instead moved to a neutral estate in Kent. The property, once used by Princess Margaret, is now managed by the Crown Guardianship Office and staffed with non-aristocratic caretakers trained in trauma-informed childcare. He let them go, and according to insiders, Meghan has never forgiven him for it. One source claimed she left a voice message saying, "He doesn't understand empire. He thinks love can undo protocol." Then came the letter, the one no one was ever meant to see. 2 days after the tribunal's decision, aides reportedly found an unsigned note addressed simply, "To my children." The handwriting matched Harry's. The ink was blurred, like it had been written through tears. It read, "I loved you before titles. I love you now without them. One day you'll understand why I stepped back, but I hope you'll forgive me for what I couldn't stop." There's something haunting in that. A father writing to his children, knowing he can't send it, can't sign it, can't even explain himself. A man who walked away from the world's most powerful family chasing freedom, only to lose both freedom and family. So here's the question that splits everyone. Do you feel sympathy for Harry now? Or do you think every step he took brought him to this moment? That accountability was always going to find him. Tell us what you think, because this one cuts deep. The Sussex brand has crumbled completely. Let's pull back for a moment and see what's really left, because this is why the Montecito exit isn't just financial, it's symbolic. The Archewell Foundation, gone. Its donor base has all but vanished. The entire operation was built on the glow of royal prestige, and once those titles were suspended and the palace doors shut, the big sponsors and corporate partners slipped quietly away. No statements, no drama, just silence where meetings and money once flowed. Netflix, the golden ticket that was supposed to prove Harry and Meghan could stand on their own as cultural powerhouses, is now reportedly triggering an early exit clause. Their content lineup never hit the mark. The Royal Rift documentary, which allegedly included footage tied to confidential pediatric records, according to internal memos cited by the tribunal, might even become legal evidence in the ongoing ethics case. Spotify, done long ago. Archetypes aired one season, then disappeared. The speaking circuit, once a goldmine for ex-royals, has dried up too. No one wants to foot the bill when even Tyler Perry has backed out. One insider put it bluntly. Booking agents are taking notes. And now comes Meghan's next move. She's reportedly negotiating a tell-all memoir titled, "The Crown Kept My Children." Just imagine that title. Defiant, emotional, and guaranteed to shake the palace walls. But legal experts are already warning that if this book sees daylight, it could violate multiple non-disparagement clauses tied to her past deals. The empire they built on rebellion and royalty is collapsing, and the fallout is just beginning. She signed the deal, and now it might be her undoing. During the couple's 2020 royal exit talks, Meghan reportedly agreed to clauses that palace lawyers are now reviewing as possible contractual self-destruction. One royal advisor allegedly used that exact phrase, saying her upcoming memoir could legally destroy her own case. But interestingly, the palace isn't panicking about the book. Their calm confidence comes from what's known as the Windsor Doctrine, the belief that silence isn't weakness, it's discipline. In their view, the memoir won't earn Meghan's sympathy. It'll hand over evidence. And in a legal war involving custody and claims of misconduct, giving your opponent new evidence voluntarily is a huge mistake. Then came a stunning twist. Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, once seen as sympathetic to the Sussexes, publicly sided with Prince William. Her statement, released through the Royal Legal Archive, read, "I once thought silence protected the crown, but I have learned it protects abusers more. In this clarity, I support your ruling. Children are not bargaining chips, not even royal ones." When Fergie switches sides, you know the landscape has completely shifted. Which brings us full circle. Montecito, the house, the exit, the question haunting every headline. Where do Harry and Meghan go from here? The reality is grim. The Montecito mansion is unsustainable. The overdue property taxes, collapsing income streams, and the soaring costs of a cross-Atlantic custody fight against the financial firepower of the British monarchy. It's a battle they can't afford to keep fighting. Everything now points in one direction. The house has to go, but selling the Montecito mansion isn't just a financial move. It's the death of a story. That mansion was the beating heart of the Sussex brand, the symbol of freedom, success, and royal rebellion. Every glossy Netflix shot, every candid neighborhood stroll, every carefully staged interview, it all revolved around that image of a modern, independent royal family, thriving without a palace. That house was the proof, and once it's sold, that entire illusion vanishes. Which leaves the question everyone's whispering: where do they go now? They've burned their royal bridges, lost their US corporate allies, sold their dream home, finalized a divorce, and watched their kids be placed under crown guardianship. What's left? Canada? Maybe. Harry's always spoken warmly of it, and the Commonwealth link offers some diplomatic comfort. But Meghan's ambitions are tied to Hollywood, and Vancouver is no Los Angeles. Europe? Unlikely. With royal privileges revoked, travel and residence across Commonwealth territories would be a legal nightmare. California, but smaller? That's the most realistic option. A downsized home, a quieter life, and a grueling legal fight stretching on for years, draining every ounce of energy and money. But here's what makes this story hit harder than any celebrity downfall. This isn't just about fame or fortune, it's about children, real children. Archie and Lilibet never chose any of this. Not the royal birth, not the cross-Atlantic headlines, not the Netflix cameras, and certainly not the custody tribunal that now defines their lives. Under the Royal Custodial Tribunal's ruling, both are officially under Crown guardianship oversight, their futures watched, managed, and protected by a system bigger than any scandal. The royal family website just changed, and the update speaks volumes. Archie and Lilibet's names, once listed right beneath King Charles, William, Catherine, George, Charlotte, and Louis, are gone. In their place, a single sterile line appears. Status updated in accordance with Royal Custodial Tribunal ruling 2026. No emotion, no announcement, just a date, cold, clinical, final. And if you're sitting there thinking this feels heavier than any royal drama before, you're right. This isn't a tabloid feud or another PR mess. This is real family damage, stretching across oceans, legal systems, and generations, and it may never truly heal. But for every royal collapse, there's a reaction. And right now, the British monarchy is riding a wave of public approval. William's decisiveness has been praised as historic. He's being hailed for courage, discipline, and ushering in a new era of royal authority, one that's firm, transparent, and unapologetic. His approval rating as future king sits at 84%, one of the highest in modern memory. And that editorial with just 4 words, "He chose the crown," captured the national mood perfectly. Still, behind the cheers, constitutional experts are quietly uneasy. They're warning that what's happening here isn't just family business, it's monarchic evolution. The creation of the Royal Family Tribunal, the use of the Lineage Safeguard Clause, and the formal classification of Archie and Lilibet as out-of-status descendants. These are unprecedented structural changes in royal governance. This isn't just history being made, it's the monarchy rewriting its own rules in real time. Lord Pembroke called the House of Windsor Domestic Tribunal the first codified royal court of its kind in modern British history. The last time anything similar existed, the Plantagenet dynasty was collapsing. We're talking medieval structures reborn in the 21st century. It's historic, but also deeply controversial. Is this strength or overreach? Princess Anne laid down the moral foundation, and Duchess Sophie gave it its voice, declaring, "No child should be wielded as a pawn, a product, or a passport. Nobility is not in the title, but in how you protect the name that title bears." Her words earned a standing ovation at Cambridge, and Catherine, now formally titled Guardian General of Royal Minors, added her own, "This is not a palace, but it is peace." These statements hit hard, especially with a public worn out by the endless Sussex drama. To many, they sound like moral clarity, a new tone for the monarchy. But beneath the applause, something bigger is shifting. The British Crown is quietly building a system of internal judicial power that moves faster and cuts deeper than anything seen in modern royal history. That speed could soon collide with international law. Human rights experts and transatlantic legal analysts are already watching closely. Meghan's lawyers are reportedly preparing a case for The Hague, while the US Embassy has stated it will not challenge the children's relocation, citing British jurisdictional primacy and shared child protection treaties. A medieval power reborn, and the world's watching to see how far it goes. But this story is far from over. The legal battle continues, and the next chapter will be written by voices not yet ready to speak. Whenever Meghan's memoir hits shelves, whenever the custody hearings escalate, and whenever Archie and Lilibet grow old enough to tell their own stories, that's when the real reckoning begins. We've reached the end of an era. Harry and Meghan are leaving Montecito, not with grand announcements or glossy photo ops, not with a Netflix crew documenting their next chapter. They're leaving quietly, under legal pressure, financial exhaustion, and the heavy weight of 6 years' worth of choices that no PR team can spin anymore. The mansion once hailed as their forever home is officially going up for sale. The foundation lies dormant, the streaming contracts are dissolving, the divorce is finalized, and their children are now under Crown guardianship oversight. In Montecito, insiders say Harry has withdrawn again, barely eating, barely seen, while Meghan's lawyers plan their next move. Across the ocean, at Windsor, William stands firm, calm, disciplined, unshakable. He's reportedly following the advice his grandmother once gave him, to hold the line, even when it hurts. His recent statement said it all. "My duty is not to comfort discomfort, but to uphold legacy. Not to reconcile the unreconcilable, but to protect those too young to understand what's been done in their name." It's a chilling contrast. One brother clinging to principle, the other to what remains of freedom. The curtain may be falling on Montecito, but this royal story is far from finished. Whether you stand with every decision made by the palace or believe the scales of justice need to be re-examined, one thing can't be denied. This is the end of a chapter. A long, chaotic, globally watched chapter in the saga of one of the world's most dissected families. But the next part of this story won't be crafted by publicists, Netflix crews, or royal press teams. No, it will be written by two children, living quietly on an estate in Kent. And one day, when Archie and Lilibet are old enough, they will tell the story themselves. That's the truth nobody's talking about, but it's the part that will matter most. Before you go, we want your take on 3 things. Did William make the right call issuing Royal Order number 17, or did the monarchy go too far? Is Harry a victim of impossible circumstances or the architect of his own downfall? And what do you think happens to Meghan's brand once the Montecito era finally ends? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is just getting started. And hey, if you've been following this wild royal journey, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this story with someone who's been keeping up too. The next chapter of this royal saga is already unfolding. And trust us, you don't want to miss what comes next. The crown has spoken, the house is being packed, and Montecito's most famous residents are heading for the exit. The only question left, where does that door lead?